Hello, every coconutter. Welcome to December review. I have 5 minutes because I'm cooking up an absolute banger, guys. December. It's the last day of December. The first month review that is within the month. I'm not going to edit this because I have a banger that I'm working on. And I don't want to upload just a 12th of it, because I have a 12th complete. A 12th? Mikey, how do you know you're done with the 12th? Take it as a riddle. So, everything I did this year. Had some low times in the beginning of the year. I was low, and then I was good in the second half of the month. Similar to November, I would say. Did my marathon. That was really cool. Made a whole video on that. I recommend it. I'm also really glad that the video did well. I like that video, and I'm glad I was not forced to make it. It was so much better to make videos when you're not forced to do it. And I think that's going to be a positive with the future videos that might come out. Picked up Risk when I was in that low time. I was just watching a bunch of YouTube, wasting time, and all that. But then I found this guy called The Kill Peach Strategy. And then I started playing Risk, and now all of our friend group kind of plays Risk. A little bit, not a whole friend group. That's a bit of an over-exaggeration. We're kind of playing Risk right now. I had 150 miles to run this year, so that was that took up all my physical activity. Stopped doing weightlifting and rock climbing, and just focused on that. Was able to, and started doing photography for Doxa Church. Went one time. It was pretty good. I feel like I was being applied more than I am at Doxa Kids, even though that whatever I do, it will be valuable, but it was harder work. That's what it was. It was harder work, and but the one thing is, I was later told, you got to go in front of people and take pictures of people from the front, but it's pretty uncomfortable. So that's something that I can work on and overcome. So was able to sell Bitcoin. I've been talking about Bitcoin for so long. The Bitcoin that I had, I was able to sell it, and little did I know that was pretty much right at the top. So pretty much the best time I could have sold. I did sell, which is quite a blessing from God. He's provided me with that. I'm thankful to Past Mikey for staying disciplined in the running. Yeah, there was a lot of times when I didn't want to run. I was like, let me just skip it. And I could have skipped it, but I didn't. And I just stayed on it. So I'm glad I did. Cleaned out my room and enjoyed it quite a bit. Gave away a ton of my stuff that I have no use for. So everything in my room either has a purpose or it's something I'm collecting, like documents, and I collect some old, like Nintendo consoles. So glad I was able to clean it out and give everything away. Began to work with my dad. There's some vans here. We collect them, fix them, resell them. Well, I don't. I do very little. I'm working more on the online selling part of it. But yeah, been able to help with that. Got a checkup in the beginning of the month, and then went and I did a blood test, and then I also, my first checkup actually, that I can remember, and I got got an eye exam, so I should be getting glasses right at the beginning of January, maybe like January 3rd or so. So that's good. Went on a hike with friends yesterday. First hike that Sam went on, first Doxa hike, someone from Doxa being with us, that Sam came to. It was just Gianna, but it was a really good time, and he suffered training hill for his first time, like all of us have. Charles came, that same day that Charles came from Florida. Our cousins are visiting. Very good. They have their little kid, Lucas. I was hanging out with him today. Very cool. It was really interesting because I was thinking, like, I want to see how babies act. Just like, how do they, when they look at things, what do they think? And I learned that today, what I learned from spending some time with him is that I don't remember. I learned something though. And today, the last day of the year, I completed my 1,000 miles of running for the year. It was a goal I set in July. Michael gave me the idea, and since July I had been working towards it, staying consistent, and I finished it today. Nothing crazy. I didn't like start crying or anything. I knew I would feel like this because there was something similar where I completed a hard goal, and I was expecting myself to just be like overwhelmed with happiness and super crazy, but just like, great, I'm done. Time to move on to the next goal. Yeah, so that's about it. Now I'll go into the more inner work. I was talking about the outer work, things that happen on the outside, and things that happen on the inside. Well, this is wrong. There we go. Oh, the book that I read this month was Fahrenheit 451. Much shorter than I thought, because like the last third of the book is just like talking about the book itself. So I finished it much quicker than I thought. I really liked it. A note I made on the book was that it is Montag, the character, he's doing so little. He walks around, he talks to some people, he burns a couple books, acts, and he does so little, but because it's written so well, I mean, a good writer, it takes up 160 pages. It did like encourage me to go on to not overstimulate myself, because even though this book was in like the 60s, I believe, there's so many parallels I saw to myself in this culture that we're in of overstimulating yourself, and it's been really beneficial. And yeah, I guess I'll go on to that. I've been fasting for about 2 weeks from video games and just YouTube, any sort of, any entertainment except Kill Pete Strategy. Sometimes I just turn on a video of his, not stimulating at all, but just something good to watch. So helped me, and something I learned actually is that on Instagram Reels, during this fast, when I broke this fast, was that you can't process your emotions if you don't have any quiet time, just not doing anything, because your brain is taking stuff in when you're doing stuff. But you need stuff when you're not doing things to process emotions, thoughts, ideas, concerns, for your brain to process it. So I've allowed myself to do that during my runs. I have not been listening to anything. A couple times I've been on a call with Michael, but that has helped a lot. And I've picked up hobbies to fill my time when I would be playing video games or something like that. So really benefited my mental health. Yeah, it is that dang phone. It is that dang phone, I would say, at least for myself. That it does turn your brain to mush. Bit of a hyperbole, but yeah, it really helps just not being on it. But yeah, when I went on that, right before I went on that fast, I was just like really out of whack, and I did not even know what was going on with myself. I was like, what am I feeling? I don't know why I am. Like, I was like, I wanted to just like weep, or like I didn't know. And then that explained it perfectly when I learned that my emotions are not being processed. So really glad I was able to find that and apply it. All through God's will, though. All through God's sovereignty, and God giving me the ability to do that. And this month I really grew in my relationship with God, the creator of the universe, which has been a bit of a wild thought, just like really understanding that. But yeah, I've been able, through his strength, been able to grow a lot. And that was a prayer request that I had looked back at my prayer requests that I wrote down, and that was one of them. And I'm really glad that God has been answering that. I prayed that God would grow my joy in him and my goodness, like my love of goodness, and he's really grown me in that, just like loving goodness and being disgusted with evil and bad things, bad language. So good, and it's just such a joy. It's like juicy. It's so amazing to be in, and I'm so far from perfection, which I will never reach on earth. But it is so, I can't wait to grow more in it. Yeah, I'd say I grew quite a bit this month. My dad's selling a van. There you go, on the grind. But one more thing, and I'll talk about this in our quarterly review with Michael, because it's a bit of an overarching thing. But this whole year I would classify. I'm not going to say actually, but I learned this month that, yeah, I'll say this whole year I've been searching. What is my purpose? What am I doing with my life? And in this month, I think in the beginning or halfway through, George Mueller. I was reading the autobiography of George Mueller, and an Instagram reel that I saw. That's the one thing I can remember. But I think it was a lot of other things. But either it clicked for me, or I learned that most adults right now when they were 19, I'm almost 19. When they were 19, they didn't know what they were doing. But also, second of all, most people don't just have one thing that they do their whole lives. So that really relieved me. And also George Mueller, him saying that no matter if you're a coal miner, I mean, it's one of the core doctrines of not core, but one of the big things that the Protestant Reformation brought is that you don't have to be a clergyman to work for God. You can be a garbage man, you can be the president. You are equally serving God. All that matters is that you are doing the best you can, working the hardest you can, and obeying God, which also works with seeking to do God's will. So learning that and applying that has been such a relief, knowing that no matter what I do, I am working for God and accomplishing my life's purpose. Acts 17, I believe, says God has allotted every single thing and every single place where everyone is. So wherever I am in life, that is God's will for me. It's not like I need to go and search it out and then apply it. Wherever I am, that is where God wants me to be. So a bit of a spoiler for kind of the theme of the year that we'll hopefully talk about in our last quarterly review tomorrow on New Year's Day. Yeah, but that is the month of December. I'm so glad. I'm not going to talk about the year. I want to talk about the year, but it's just about December. So it'll just be December. This has been the month of more growth. I'll say the month of goodness, the month of joy, month of maturity. I'd say month of goodness. A lot of good things. I'm really glad that I've been able to stay consistent and grow all through God. Like, I would not be able to do this by myself. That's why I owe my life to God. Thank you for watching. I'm going to go back to work on a banger. I hope you guys enjoy it when it comes out. December. I hope you guys had a good December. It would be cool to reach 500 subscribers before the year, but that's very unlikely. But if you can, hit the subscribe button. Let's try to get me to the channel to 500 subscribers. It doesn't really matter, but I think that'd be cool, because I think I hit a certain number a couple New Years ago too, but not a very big deal. I love you guys. See ya.